Hey everyone, Coach Travis Robertson, CEO and founder of Robertson Coaching International. Now, today, what I want to talk with you about is how do successful agents structure their day. I cannot tell you how often agents come up to my team, to me, talk to their coaches and say, Travis, how do we structure our day more effectively? I feel like my day is chaos. I feel like it's out of control. I don't know how to do it. You know, I hear about time blocking. I hear about all this stuff, but will that really work for me? And you know, everybody just wants to know, how do I structure my day in a way that makes me more productive, that allows me to get more done, that allows me to maximize my time so that I achieve more in less time with less stress and have ultimately more satisfaction and fun in life, right? So that's what we all want, but how are successful agents structuring their day? So that's what I want to show you today, is I'm going to walk you through how to think about your day, how to structure your day, and real quick, let me kind of put this out of your mind. Time blocking. You all hear about time blocking, and I think that for a lot of people, time blocking can be great. For me, I do a lot of, that's how I plan my day, is I time block the crap out of my day. But you know why I do that? Because I'm not dealing with client calls all day, every day. I'm not in the same business that you are. I'm in the coaching business. I have a different structure to my day. When I was doing more sales and more, you know, all the time talking to people, I couldn't time block the same way. So if you're thinking, oh, great, you know, all he's going to do is he's just going to tell me to time block and make me feel guilty because I've never been able to pull it off, hang tight. I'm not going to tell you to time block. In fact, I'm going to change the way you think about organizing your day in a way that you actually enjoy it and it makes more sense and it's less stressful and it's less kind of overwhelming feeling, right? So let's talk about how most agents structure their day. Before we look at how successful agents do it, I want to show you how most agents structure their day because maybe you can relate to this or at least part of this, right? So here's how most agents do it. Now, if you can't read this, don't worry about it. All that's on here is not that important, but about 5 a.m., 6 a.m., you're still sleeping, right? And then about 7 a.m., they stumble out of bed, they check their email, they drink coffee, they get the kids ready to go. It's like, oh crap, you know, another day, another dollar, right? Then at about 8 a.m., they're, you know, other morning stuff they're doing, they're dropping off the kids, more coffee because they just got to keep it rolling. 9 a.m. is when they intend to get into the office. 9:23 is when they're about strolling into the office, right? Bit frazzled, day's been going like, you know, kind of crazy in the morning, right? You finish telling about 10 o'clock everybody about the crazy morning you had and the kids and like, oh, you'll never believe what happened and, you know, little Johnny fell apart and then he's crying and, you know, Satan child and all this stuff. And you're like, and so about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, you're finishing telling everybody about, oh my gosh, it was so awful. And then you're returning some phone calls, putting out some fires. You might have some time to grab some lunch, right? Because up here, one of the things you were doing is checking emails. So all of this is just stressed about all the fires that you're putting out, right? Because the first thing you do, you roll out of bed, oftentimes even before you get the coffee or the kids, you're like checking the email, what's going on today. So all of this is happening, right? You're stressed, you're exhausted, you're like, eat some lunch, and then here's what the afternoon looks like. Just all the way, it's just falling apart. Fires, drama, clients calling, everybody's upset, you know, deals are falling apart. You're just trying to put it all together. You're trying to keep your head above water. Johnny's school is calling because your demon child is like out of control at school, biting the teachers, biting the kids. Everything's falling apart. And at 6 p.m., it's still continuing, right? Because at 7 p.m., it's like all going crazy. And then all of a sudden the phone starts to quiet down. The kids start passing out. And about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, what are you doing? Email, paperwork, getting caught up on the day. 12 o'clock, you're ready for bed and it's like, because what happens? Your spouse wants to have sex. And you're like, no, get off of me, 12:05, you pass out, right? And you're like, no wonder you're stressed. This is how most people run their day. This is how most agents structure their day. And this is when they come to us and they're like, I need a coach, I need help. One of the things we ask them, what do you need help with? They're like, getting control of this because it's out of control and I don't know how to fix it, right? So here's what I want to do. Before I show you how to structure your day, I want to get you thinking differently about your day. And this is what we talk with our clients about, is there's really two core activities, apart from your personal life, but in your business life, there's really two core activities that you deal with. What we call your BGAs and your BSAs, your business generating activities and your business servicing activities. And where most people get stressed is they spend all their time over here on business servicing activities, putting out fires, returning calls, dealing with deals falling apart. All of that is business servicing activities. all very critical, by the way. You need to do this because you've got to have, clients happy. You've got to get the deals through because this is where you get paid, right? You service the business to get paid. But here's the problem, and here's where a lot of stress comes from. Because you're running around dealing with all of this and you're not intentional about your business generating activities, what you have is that feast or famine lifestyle, because all of a sudden business is going really, really well. You're getting a lot of clients, you're getting a lot of deals, and then all of a sudden you're too busy to generate more business, so you start servicing it all. But when you're not generating more business, it won't be long before you don't have a lot of business to service. And then as you start wrapping up that final couple deals, you start looking on the horizon and you're like, oh crap, I need to run around starting to generate more business. And it's this constant feast or famine cycle because there's never intentionality around this. So how do we start building around intentionality into making sure that every day we're generating new business and we're servicing business? So if you start thinking about what are the activities I do to generate business and what are the activities I do to service business, it starts to separate in your mind and ultimately on your calendar where your time is going to be focused, because you need both every day. You got to be doing both business generating and business servicing. But how do we do that? Well, here's what I want you to think about. There are 4 core chunks. I want you to think about your day, not in blocks so much, because when you think of time blocking, what do you think of? You think of, okay, from 9 to 10 I do this, from 10 to 10:30 I do this, from 10:30 to 11:30, and it's like every hour is accounted for. It's not going to work that way. In fact, good luck with that. If that's what you're going to try and do, good luck. In a sales role, in a service role like most of you are in, unless you have a team and you're kind of in that leadership role where you really can start to do more like traditional time blocking, what I want you thinking of are big chunks of time. You have 4 big chunks of time, 4 major chunks in your life. Number 1 is this, your morning rituals. This is what you're going to do before you get to the office. I want you to develop rituals. Oh, Travis, that sounds so boring. I don't want rituals. I don't want routine. I want to be more spontaneous. Great. Build in spontaneity, because the only way you can have true spontaneity and no stress is if you have systems and rituals and routines that allow you to be spontaneous. Systems allow for spontaneity. Routine allows for spontaneity. I want you to write that down. I want you to remember it. I want you to tweet it. I want you to do whatever you need to do. Write it on a sticky note, stick it on your laptop or monitor or whatever it is. Make it your background, your screensaver. Systems enable spontaneity. So you got to have morning rituals. Then the next thing you need to do is you need to focus on the BGAs. The second chunk is your BGAs. Then the third chunk is your BSAs, your business servicing activities. And then the fourth chunk is your evening rituals. Now again, all of this is about developing rituals in each one of these. BGAs are rituals, BSAs are rituals. I just didn't write rituals afterwards, but it's all about developing habits, all right? So what does this look like? So let's kind of break it down. What would a morning ritual look like? 5 a.m., you're not still sleeping, you're waking up. So you're not waking up stressed, like hitting the ground running, checking email, doing all that. No, you're gonna wake up, you're gonna pray. This is what I do. Wake up, pray, drink my coffee, get things going, just focus my mind. I read, I'm just meditating. Whatever you do, this is a time. I journal in the morning sometimes. I write down everything that I'm grateful for. Like I create a gratitude list every morning. Just put myself in the right state of mind to start the day, not stressed, not frazzled. Then, I'm going to exercise, or I'm going to get, my body moving, get my energy up and going. Then I'm going to shower, I'm going to eat. Now, I don't have to get my kids up and ready. I have a daughter who's right now 7.5 months old or whatever she is, 8 months old. So she's not getting up and ready for school. So I get her up, play with her a little bit, and then I'm out, heading to the office. By about 8 o'clock every morning, I'm in the office. And so this is kind of mine, but yours might be 8 o'clock, you're dropping the kids off at school, then you're arriving at the office at 8:30. So there's your morning ritual, and it's all intentional. It's less stress. Can you imagine if you were to wake up at 5, some of you are like 5 o'clock, I've never seen 5 o'clock. I don't know what that, is it still dark outside? Is it light? What's happening at 5 o'clock? So I want you to try it. Start moving your wake up time back a little bit, more each day. Then what is your business generating activity going to look like? So now your business generating chunk is going to look like this. at 8:35. Remember, you're in the office by 8:30, not strolling in at 9:35 or 9:25. So at 8:35, now you're going to sit down, you're going to practice your scripts, you're going to get focused on production. You're going to get yourself in state, in the right mindset to have an incredible day. That's what you're going to be doing. Now, at 9 o'clock, you're going to start calling your past clients, your sphere of influence. This is where you're going to start building some of those past client relationships, getting more repeat referral business by nurturing these relationships. And you're just kind of getting the day going right now, right? You're having great conversations, very low key, non-threatening conversations around that time. Now 9:30, now you're going to start following up with outstanding leads. What are some of the leads you need to follow up with? People that said, hey, I want to list my house, or, call me next week, I'll have a decision, or yeah, I want to, active buyer leads, things like that. This is where you're going to be following up with kind of your active, outstanding leads. Now 10 o'clock, now's when you're going to start calling your new leads, you're prospecting, you're dialing and you're smiling, you're making the dials for dollars right in here because you've been warmed up, right? You've got, some great conversations, some great wins in here. So now it's kind of carrying you into a great time to prospect. Now, afternoon, here's what it looks like. So your morning is your business generating activities, and even, kind of late morning, you can start moving into the business servicing. Now you're going to check and respond to email. Now you're going to start servicing the business the rest of the day. And notice I almost put like all the way down here in case some days you're going to be putting out fires all through the afternoon and it's going to feel like, it's all crazy. But at the end of the day, what you're really doing is you're servicing your business. And I don't so much care what this looks like, how stressful it is or how chaotic it might be some days. At the end of the day, you're servicing business and you need to do that. So that's a good thing. So if 5 o'clock rolls around, you're still servicing business, then maybe at 6 p.m. you decide my evening rituals are this. By the way, I work at night. A lot of nights, I wouldn't say, probably most nights, I'm working at night, but here's what I do. I have an evening ritual. So it's dinner with the family, it's time with kids, and then I'm planning out my next day, and then maybe I'm wrapping up any outstanding communication or paperwork. Maybe this is what you do about 9 o'clock. Then at 10 o'clock, maybe you plan some time to journal or read or just kind of come down on the day. Then at 11 o'clock, it's because your spouse wants to have sex again. So at 11:15, you're passed out, you're asleep. Now, let me ask you a question. If you were to do this, if you were to think about your day in 4 key chunks, what am I doing for my morning rituals so that I'm not stressed, so that I'm setting up the day, so that I'm creating kind of a catalyst for today, and then what am I going to do after that to generate business? Because that's what you got to do. You got to generate business before you service business. Generate business before you service business. So what am I going to do to generate business? And then what am I going to do to service the business? What is that going to look like? And then what are my evening rituals going to be? Doesn't mean you don't work at night. If you need to work at night, you need to work at night, but it means that you're being intentional with the other areas of your life and you're blocking out key times that are important for your relationship with your spouse or your kids or just yourself, right? Whatever it is. Now, here's the catalyst. The key to all of this, 2 things. The key to all of this is 2 things. Number 1, your morning rituals, and number 2, your business generating activities. You do those 2 things, the rest of the day can go to hell in a handbasket, and I really don't care because you will have gotten the 2 most important things done. These are the 2 things that are the catalyst. They set the day, they set the tone, they drive you into the rest of your day. They give you the energy and the push and the wherewithal to make sure that when you get to those business servicing activities, if it's falling apart, you know what? It can fall apart because at the end of the day, you still know I did some things today that are going to that are going to generate new business and service your business, but that are going to ultimately generate new business. Because if you're not generating new business and all you're doing is servicing it, it won't be long before you don't have any business to service. So that's what I want you to do. Focus on the 4 core chunks: morning rituals, BGAs, BSAs, and evening rituals. Think about your day in 4 core chunks, and what are the habits you're just going to build into each of those. You do that, you're going to have a far more productive day. This is how successful agents are thinking about their day on this type of level, on this type of thinking through. What am I going to focus on? What are my BGAs, my BSAs? You do that, game changer. All right, so let me ask you this. In the comments below, how do you manage your day? Does your day look more like the average real estate agent, or are you starting to transition, or have you set it up so that you have a day that is structured, that is intentional, that is driven and choice by your own choices? This is the type of schedule you've got. I'd love to hear from you. What does your day look like? How do you schedule and manage your time, your day? Leave it in the comments below, and if you enjoy this video, do me a favor, Make sure you like it, make sure you share it on social media, and subscribe because we're releasing more and more of these videos and we want to know, what do you want to hear? So I look forward to seeing you in the next video. In the meantime, don't settle for anything less than you deserve. If you believe in yourself just half as much as I believe in you, you've got an amazing business, amazing life ahead of you, and it's an honor to get to serve you along that journey. Take care, you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.